going to be doing my demonstration speech on how to perform CPR. The first thing that you're going to do is check for immediate danger. You want to make sure that the person is, if they're in a car accident, you don't want to run out there right away and get hit by a car or have them get hit by a car, or say if there is a shooting or something, immediate danger around them. You don't want to put yourself in that position for you to potentially have to also need CPR. Your second step is to assess if the victim is conscious. You want to go up to them and say, "Ma'am, are you okay? Can you hear me?" And if they can't hear you, you do not perform CPR. You can actually hurt the person more if you give them CPR and they don't need it. But if they aren't responsive, if you shake them, they're not moving, they can't hear you, you kind of pat them, see if they have any reflexes. And if they don't, then you know right then that you need to give that person CPR. Step 3, if there are people around you, you need to send them for help. If you see a bystander, say, "Hey, I need you to go call 911. I need you to go get towels because they're bleeding." You send specific people to do specific things, because if you just say, "Oh, I need you guys to go call 911, everybody's going to go call 911, and there's going to be not enough people around you to help for other situations. If you don't have anybody around you to call 911, you need to do it yourself, put it on speaker, or you need to hurry up and tell them that you need to give them CPR and get off the phone right away. Your next sign, step 4, is kind of a contemplating one. It's some people do, some people don't. It's don't check for a pulse. A lot of times people say that you need to be medically trained to find a pulse on somebody, because you're going to spend way too much time looking for a pulse and not performing the CPR and starting your compressions right away. But that is an optional choice. You can do it, you can't. Just depends on who you are. Step 5, you need to check for breathing. Make sure that they are not choking or something's lodged in their throat. If that is happening, you aren't going to be able to resuscitate them. You're not going to be able to do your CPR right. So you need to open their mouth and kind of look in the back of their throat to make sure that their tongue is not sticking in the back of their throat. They don't have food in it or anything lodged in the back that's going to prevent you from doing your CPR. The next step is to make sure that your patient is lying straight on their back, that their arms are by their side. Having them sitting up or not in a great flat position can also be hard for you to do your compressions and have the airway open straight away for you to get the best breathing through their mouth. The next step is making sure that you have your hand placement right when you are going to do your compression. You want to be sitting up on your knees. You want to have your dominant hand on the bottom, making sure that's the one that you're compressing with, and put your other hand around your dominant hand and make sure that you are in between their breastbone. You don't want to be under by their stomach. You could potentially make them throw up, or if you go over, you could be breaking the chest wall or the rib cage. So you want to make sure you're in the breastbone, and you want to make sure that your elbows are straight with your shoulders, and you want to go ahead and do your compressions with your whole body up at the front and not just your elbows. Doing it just with your elbows isn't giving enough pressure onto the breastbone to get a great dimension. It should be around 2 inches down each time you do your compression. Alright, so step 8, while you're doing your compressions, you should be doing at least 30 of them you need to be doing roughly 100 beats per minute. So you should be doing 30 compressions, stopping, 30 compressions, stopping, 30 compressions each minute. If you have other people around you that were calling the ER, that were calling your medical team, that were getting your towels, if you have more people around you, you can always rotate, because you don't want to get weak and not be performing the 2-inch depth that you need each 30 compressions. But if you are by yourself, do the compressions, because doing weak compressions versus not doing compressions at all is at least doing something to help the patient. Step 9. After your patient is breathing and your medical team hasn't arrived, you need to put them in a position called the recovery position. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the hand that is closest to you, bring it up above their body. You're going to take the other hand and wrap it around them and put it on their ear or close to their ear. And you're going to take that other knee that's away from you and bring it up. At the same time you're doing this, you're going to bring their entire body over. And this is very important because if they have a back injury or a neck injury and you don't pull the shoulders and the back of them at the same time, you could potentially ruin or hurt the back injury or the neck injury even more. So once you have them in this recovery position, usually this is when they'll be choking on saliva, maybe sometimes they throw up, and it's just easier for them, instead of laying backwards and choking on it, that they can just go ahead and do it right here on the floor. Alright, so your step 10. This is very important. Once your medical team arrives, you want to kind of let them know the rundown. Once you saw them, what happened from then to the time that the medic team came. You don't let them know what happened. They don't know how to tell the hospital once the patient gets there. So I've been doing compressions 5 minutes, they're finally resuscitated, they're in their recovery position, this is what happened, they were in a car accident, things like that is very good to tell your medical team. So if you aren't CPR certified, I highly recommend it. It can save a person's life. It does help in many situations, being a firefighter, police officer, nurse, a teacher, and things like that. One of the main things that I have is a CPR kit. It comes with a face mask if you want to give resuscitation through the mouth as well, gloves, and alcohol wipes, and it always comes with a direction kit. And as well, once you get your CPR certified, you will get a card to show family members. If there's a family member around, you have to show this before giving CPR to someone and get consent from them before you give the CPR. So that is my demonstration on CPR. Thank you so much.
Very good.